What's going on, guys? Welcome to Pros and Cons, and welcome back to Real Reds Talk, the heart and soul of authentic football fan culture. Coming straight out of Manchester, live on was it Wednesday afternoon, 12 o'clock, just slightly gone past 12 o'clock. Welcome to everyone. What we're going to do today, we're going to pick at the positives and we're going to nag at the negatives of the game from the night before. That is what this show and this concept is based on. Plenty of positives coming out on this one. I'm sure you guys are waking up with a smile on your face. It's nice to, kind of assess a game where you don't have to think too much. You're just like, yeah, good performance. Happy with that. Loads of goals. Eric Ten Hag's biggest win, I believe, since he's been at the club. So, yeah, this one's going to be a real nice kind of breeze. Now, there is still a couple of negatives, which may surprise some people. I don't know. First burp of the show. Just got to get it in there. Locked tight. Let's go. Yeah, a couple of negatives, but not really necessarily, I want to say, related to the performance, more of the things outside of, and we kind of touched on one of them after the show last night. So let's just, should we get we'll do the nice stuff, but we'll get the little nitpicking negatives out of the way, and then we can just breeze on from there, like a Ferrari down the Golden Gate Bridge. So, Garnacho being compared to Mbappe last night. Let me just put it on the screen for you, because this is pros and cons after all. So the stat comparison, I think we need to be a little bit careful of. Getting carried away, Barnsley made it easy for us. You go and watch those goals back, they basically give it us, either on a transition or there was some kind of spacing issues. There was multiple things that was just wrong and really, really open, and it made it easy for United. Kind of the same where it says you give them an inch, you take a mile. They give us a mile, and we took everything. We took the whole thing. So yeah, Barnsley made it really, really easy for us. You've got to see. Let's see if they can do this against Palace, and then those kind of stats start coming more prominent, don't they? You look at them, you're like, okay, yeah, they're doing it in the Prem, they're doing it in Europa League. I would probably say a higher level, obviously, in comparison to Barnsley. So that was something. And one thing I'd add on to that as well is we beat Newport 4-2 last season and still finished 8th. So as much as I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, and I'm buzzing with the result, absolutely happy, over the moon. I do think we need to be careful, because when comparing Garnacho to Mbappe and stuff, just chill out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, Garnacho's doing really, really well. I mean, there's a stat on there. He's averaging a goal and assist every 36 minutes so far this season. So he started off really, really bright, which is great and fantastic. And that kind of ties in with the positives later. But just be careful. You get people online who, Statman Dave's a criminal of it sometimes. He'll put a stat out, even when we've had a bad performance. And let's say Bruno's had a bad performance. He'll put some stats out, like 2 shots on target, 3 chances created. What an amazing performance from the captain, and we've lost like 4-0. And you're like, yeah, let's just be a little bit careful with that. Right, and there's only 2 negatives that I've got. How can you have any, really, at all, when you've just won 7-0, right? But the one thing I would say, and it's a very nitpicking one, missing chances. Missing chances. That is something we need to improve on. Because, look, I think that game could have easily been 10-0 last night. And, it's like saying, oh, you're never happy. Just, it's 7-0, Nick. What are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. I know. But I still think we can be more clinical in front of goal. If you watch some of the chances that we've had, I mean, Garnacho was one of them as well, where he absolutely skies it over the bar. Probably should have finished that. And it's not really about, you had to beat him 10-0 or 11-0. It's more a case of you be ruthless. City do it all the time. You think, for 3-0, 80th minute, the team are going to, right, call it a day. We've had a bad performance. We lost 3 points. It's City no, step on their neck and let's go get some more goals. Because it adds to everything. It adds to confidence. For the statistical people, it adds to that for him. And yeah, numbers don't lie a lot of times. So I think it sounds really harsh, but I do think you go back to any of the games this season, 3, the Brighton one, the Liverpool one, there is chances that we were missing, even in the Fulham game as well, and we were criminal of that. But if we can start scoring like we are doing at the minute, I mean, if Eriksen's contributing, not Casemiro, sorry, Garnacho, Marcus Rashford, Anthony, all of the front line scored last night, which is really, really good. So yeah, they're the only negatives. I don't know if you guys would agree with that. Again, if you are live in the comments, let me know, and if you're watching later on, also let me know. Palace game will be tough test. We have to show our mental and win. Little Starbies frap there. Oh, tell you what, absolutely slap these. Agreed, Palace will be tougher than both Southampton and Barnsley, but I think we have enough to get the job done when you consider the team that started. It was a great performance. Big up to Brian. Charlie Mama saying I wouldn't compare Mbappe these days. But I just Garnacho, I wouldn't compare. Like, obviously you make the joke and sometimes say, oh, we're going to win the league. And, you know, Garnacho's the next Ronaldo and all this kind of stuff. And when that thing happens, we seem to really... I think United fans in general seem to overrate their players quite a lot. So when you temper expectations just a little bit, then you can be a bit more modified in your analysis. Just my personal opinion, not everyone agrees, but yeah. Right, should we go on to the positives then? I think you know what one of them is going to be anyway, so let's just dive into it. Marcus Rashford's resurgence. Praise the Lord. Thank God this boy is scoring again. You know, scored against Southampton. Fans are hopeful, but they're like, you know, it's one goal. Let's see what happens. We'll take it from there. 2 goals and 1 assist last night will do him the absolute world of good. He looks happier. He's so much better when he's fluid. He's not thinking about things, and he's just on the go, and he's just smashing goals in. That goal, now the goal against Southampton didn't really give me that Rashford feeling. Do you know what I mean? That it was a great goal from outside the box, but he did that against City last season. And then went on to have a terrible performance. The difference is, I thought, with one of his goals yesterday was I think it was his first one, where Garnacho switches it. His first touch is really good. Just lays it out perfectly. The little, like, jink, which he's really good at as well, just cutting inside. And then the finish was just like an arrow in the top corner. So there was 3 moving parts of that goal that I really, really liked. And that's the difference. And then remember in the new camp, if you guys remember the goal he scored there, very similar. It was just like, without thinking, you beat your man, bang, straight in the bottom corner. You know, you don't have to overcomplicate things, and that's what Marcus is doing at the minute. Whether it's the coaching with RH that's helping, whether it's other things off the pitch, you don't know. But he looks happier, and he's playing better. And he played as a 9 as well. He started as a number 9. Obviously, he was drifted on the left-hand side and drifted on the right, and there was other moving parts, like I say. But it was good, because he is usually shit there, and I don't like Marcus starting as a 9. So let's hope this form continues consistently, because I think if we're to have any hope of winning something again, he has to be a big part of that. And I think he can. He looks good, man. And yeah, let's just... The thing is with Rashford, you can tell he's such a confidence player, in it. Like, the ketchup bottle analysis I actually thought from Ten Hag was spot on. When you're trying to get it out and it's stuck, and you're just like, no, nothing's good. Keep shaking, keep shaking. I was going to do the shaking motion then. I'm not doing that. That looks a bit... I was going to go, keep shaking. And it just doesn't look great, that, does it? But you get it. You finally get there. The sauce comes out, and the sauce is... sounds horrible as well. And it just keeps flowing, doesn't it? So once you get that, you know, clear the obstruction things that are in there in terms of your mindset, whatever it is. Yeah, he should be flowing now, potentially. I said last night we had more gears to go into, but we didn't need to. Very comfortable in the second half. Garnacho, Rashford and Eriksen was really on fire. Maguire, Ugarte, Bruno also had a good impact on the game. Bruno, I know, created the most chances on the pitch in 30 minutes. 6 chances, I think it was. Got 2 assists. Crazy. Casemiro's passing fantastic. I'm going to get onto the midfield in a minute. So, yeah, you give me a perfect segue there, Charlie. Random guy as well said, if we beat Palace away from home, I see us beating Spurs, Porto, and Aston Villa. Jesus Christ. A lot of positivity flowing about. And why not? You know what I mean? Why not? We've won a fucking game, so let's just be positive. Right, on to the next positive. Manuel Ugarte unlocks other players around him. Now, I was going to have that on the graphic, but it just doesn't fit on, does it? And it's too long-winded. But Ugarte unlocks in his first start for United. Clear what he's going to offer first and foremost. We kind of knew this anyway. You're going to have someone who's going to sweep up, keep it simple, put fires out, and then help out the creatives that are around him as well. You talk about Eriksen and Casemiro. They just looked free yesterday. And, you know, if Ugarte pushes on, you can have Casemiro drops in. But go and watch the video that I did. You guys have already seen it, so you know I've spoken about this. Casemiro and Ugarte can play together. And if anything, you're going to get the best out of Casemiro because he can push on. And what he's actually really good at and criminally underrated at is either playing between the lines or playing, you know, those little slight balls or little back heels and combining. Like, he's like that anchor of the combinations. You see it when it drifts over to the right-hand side, like Anthony to Casemiro, Dalot overlaps. You know, you see these patterns that are performing now, and it'll drill it into a player on the edge of the box, make a run-off, and then play the other guy through. And you've seen it a few times, even in the Fulham game. He set up Bruno Fernandes a couple of times as well. So if Casemiro's going to play in that role, I'm actually all right with it. I think, cool, sweet. Because even if you're losing the ball there when you're high up, it's not exactly in a risky position, is it? Do you know what I mean? As opposed to the edgy 18-yard box like he did against Liverpool. So with Ugarte in there, I think it just benefits everyone around him. And that's why I'm saying Ugarte unlocks, because Eriksen as well. I thought Eriksen had a really good performance. Obviously played in Bruno Fernandes's position, which we haven't seen a lot before. I was already always worried about Eriksen in the bigger games. That was always my kind of thing that I had with it, because I just thought he hasn't got the legs really to be that kind of pressing engine. But when you're coming up against Barnsley in the Carabao Cup and you're dictating the game, then Eriksen can absolutely slot into there. And you saw, he had a man of the match performance last night as well. So yeah, really, really happy. I can't wait to see how Ugarte is when he eventually gets up to speed. And I want to see him in the big games, how he performs there. Because look, I'm happy with it. I make my assessments. I'm like, right, cool, good start. Let's build on that and let's see how you do against, I don't know, fucking Real Madrid or, the bigger teams is what I'm saying. Because what I've been thinking of before is I big up a player to him. I get really, really excited about him, happy about him. And then, they drop off a little bit. And so I'm just, again, tempering expectations. But anyone's allowed to get kind of away with themselves. Garnacho, Rashford, Eriksen really on fire. Maguire, Ugarte. Oh, sorry, I already read that out. Sorry, I don't know why that came up as a new comment then. Anyway, right. So yeah, Ugarte, fantastic. Can't wait to see how he does against Palace. That's a bigger test for him and a bigger step up. But I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. On to the next one. Erik Ten Hag headache, which sounds like a positive, but it's not. He's finally got... Oh, switching screens there. He's finally got a selection headache where you got depth and people you can choose from. You got Antony, Rashford, Garnacho all scoring, and Eriksen scoring, assisting. So when you're heading into this weekend, now you're like, there's a little bit of food for thought. Now, I could probably write down what team's going to start and who's going to be in there. You could probably imagine it, but you still got, who do you go with? Do you drop Casemiro and Eriksen again and bring Mainu and Bruno back in? Does Ahmad start? Does Xerxes start? Plenty of options. Sound like Sean Dyche then. Jesus, plenty of options. They had a mare last night, didn't they, Everton? Jesus Christ. I feel sorry for Alex. I need to have a chat with him. He must be down in the dumps with the way they're going. Honestly, terrible start to the season. But yeah, good for us in terms of from one more bald man in Dyche to the other in Erik Ten Hag. I think good selection headache is absolutely what you want. Competition breeds success, as we always say on this channel. And we've got plenty of games coming out where we've got, like we said, different competitions as well. We just played the Carabao Cup, Premier League on the weekend, Europa League after that, FC20. And then you got like Spurs and Villa, which are two very tricky games and two games that are mega important because in terms of the Premier League position, you take points off them teams. Obviously, they're the kind of teams that are going to be around you towards the end of the season. So if we carry that winning momentum into those games and we win, then we can start really smiling in a sense. But yeah, I think last night there was only 3 players who started against Southampton, I believe. So rotation that we've been crying out for finally, because one stick that Erik Ten Hag's been beaten with is the fact that he never changes. He's too stubborn. He did it at Ajax and he's done it at United for ages, where we're like, please start this guy. Please start this guy. I still believe we could have had some more youngsters involved on the bench as well, because the bench was quite stacked, wasn't it? But, when you go 3-4-0 up, that's the opportunity to bring those kind of players on, like an Amas, like a Wheatley, potentially. But, yeah, I don't know. He seemed to want to get rhythm. And he went for rhythm and confidence in the senior players over starts and minutes for the youngsters, I would say. Even though Toby Collier was at left back, which was a mad decision. I don't think anyone expected that. And also, yeah, in terms of selection of a goalkeeper, I don't think Bayern Day necessarily did anything wrong. It was just more of a case of he had fuck all to do in it. So kept a clean sheet. I want to see him get more minutes in these kind of games. I'd probably play him against like an FC20 in the Europa League, to be honest. But again, I think Ten Hag would probably revert back to Andre Onana. I always go to say Amadou Onana. I think he'll revert back to Andre Onana in that. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We've got Arez Khalil who's saying, hey guys, I'm new here. Welcome to the community areas, Khalil, everyone. Be nice and polite. If you can. If you love football content, then yeah, this is the place for you. So welcome to the channel and get your opinions in. I'd love to see Rashford as a striker with Ahmad on the left and Garnacho on the right. Ahmad is better at taking on players. Antony got bullied a bit last night, but he did have a decent performance. I don't know why. Antony looks a little bit quicker. Like, I'm seeing this more and more now, where he's actually going past the man with his pace, and I'm like, where the fuck was this before? I remember it against Chelsea. I always reference it against Chelsea last season. Against Cucurella, burned him for pace, and I was like, has he either put like, you remember in Need for Speed when you put NOS on your car, and it'll just give it that extra bit of, it's like he's putting NOS in his boots or something. It's weird. Actually, Ahmad on the right and Garnacho on the left. That's not even my name, mate. What have I missed something or something? I don't know. Big up, Nick. Thank you very much, Steph. Anthony still won't start. Nah, I don't think so, yeah. But it's just food for thought, innit? If you know what I mean. Just food for thought. Right, should we go on to the next one then? This is one I'm most impressed with. And again, it's not an obvious one, but rhythm and consistency is starting to improve. And when I talk about rhythm and consistency, the patterns of play really, really nice with Casemiro, with Antony. You know, I talked about those kind of moves before, overlapping, inverting, players running in behind, you know, cutbacks. We're doing cutbacks, which we never, ever did. If you watch any of our games last season, you never saw those kind of consistent patterns. And you're seeing it become more of a team now. They're being less selfish, you know, off the ball. It's like something's clicked. And maybe it is the coaches that have come in. Maybe it is. I mean, I doubt it's Rudy who's saying don't shoot because he was the greediest player ever. But as a coach, Rene Hack, Ruud van Nistelrooy, and all the other kind of guys who have come in, maybe it's their work on the training ground that's, you know, kind of coming to fruition. I talked about Casemiro's flicks in behind and the patterns with Dalot and Antony. Yeah, I don't know. It feels more like a team. What do you guys think? And that's one thing I'm most happy about, because individuals sometimes can win you games, but if you want to win something over a consistent basis, like a long-term thing, like a Premier League or whatever, we're not going to win the Premier League. But if you want something like that, you need everyone to be performing cohesively together, whether it's, you know, off the ball. Look at Man City, the way they press like dogs off the ball. Bernardo Silva, Foden, whoever it is, as a collective, they all do the dirty side of the game. But then equally, when they get to the final third, they're killers. And that's because they know the patterns inside out. Pep has drilled them perfectly. So we've not got to that stage yet. Even with Arsenal, you compare it to Arsenal, the way Arteta have got like the triangles. It sounds like simple things. I know that they are hard to kind of repeat in a game, but just simple things like triangles, you know, overloads in certain areas, getting to the byline, sequences of passes that we like to see. I'm not a coach, I don't have my A license, but watching football, they're the kind of things you want to see, right? I know we're not necessarily a tiki-taka kind of team, but I think we like to play proactively. We like to be direct, you know, play through the lines sharp, with quick combinations and kill teams off rapid. So equally, I'm happy to see that, but it's got to be executed in the right fashion, hasn't it? And now that Andre and Amadou, right, random, yeah, you spot on, mate. That's me. I'm having a coffee, and that's me being slow. I should have got that, because he's speaking in his whatever language it was. I don't know. Is it Belgium? What do Belgian people speak? Is it French? Or do Belgian people have their own language? That's a question in itself, isn't it? He was speaking a language. Excuse my ignorance, because I actually don't know what people from Belgium speak. I'm assuming it's some kind of French. And he goes down here, someone asks him, he's like, that's not even my name, mate. And you're like, is that the same guy? It's like he's got a fucking voiceover or something. I would try Eriksen at a 10 against Palace. He gives us more ball holding than Bruno. Look, there's been a couple of people, the lads on the channel, I think. Sam's been pushing Eriksen to start there. Excuse me. And a couple others. I think just the difference is with Eriksen off the ball. If you're in a game and you've not got a lot of possession and you're pressing, that's not his game. When you're playing Barnsley in the Carabao Cup, he can absolutely flourish. And he does well for Denmark in international games, because let's be honest, the competitiveness is not on the same level. So, yeah, haven't seen Gray in a long time either. Yeah, Adam's going to jump on some afternoon shows this week, on a couple of them. I can't remember when he's going to be back on. What day we're on? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think he said he's going to jump on some afternoon shows with myself. So that'd be nice. A nice little change up. You don't just want to watch me all the time, do you? So, yeah. Usually it's either Shreyas. Sometimes Sam jumps on the afternoon shows. But Adam, Thursday and Friday. And we'll do some fun stuff for you guys. So, yeah. Always like having Adam on. Yeah. Breath of fresh air. Ronan, only Garnacho and Antony have that really intense work rate off the ball. Hope Rashford and Ahmad improve their defensive work rate. Well, yeah, people will call that nitpicking, Ronan, but I agree. I agree with you. You have to be the full package and complete player, innit? Ariz says, fun facts, I have a C license FIFA. Interesting. Okay, we've got some coaches in the chat. Loads of these people, doesn't make sense. I'm going to have a swig of my coffee. 1 second. what I was going to say is, loads of people are relatively smart when it comes to football, so it's nice to have a community who are not thick and stupid and say mad things. Although anyone is entitled to an opinion, that's what I want to say. Darryl Tolhurst says Belgians speak French and Flemish, I think. Flemish? That sounds like you made it up in your room, Darryl. Is Flemish a real accent? That's the question. What do we think, chat? Let me have a look. This is probably me being stupid. Flemish people are a German ethnic group native to Flanders, Belgium, who speak Flemish Dutch. Ah, okay. Flemish, in my head, sounds like... I'm trying to think. I don't want to be insulting. It sounds like a you know what I mean? A bit of a French strong croissant. That sounds like Flemish. Yeah. Flemish is correct. Okay, interesting. Yeah. I'll hold my hands up, Darryl. Congrats on that one. Yep, they speak French or German. So there isn't a Belgian actual accent in itself. It's not like Belgiumese or something. They just have French or German or whatever countries around them with a little bit of Dutch. It's like Mambo number 5, isn't it? A little bit of Netherlands in my life. A little bit of France by my side. A little bit of German's what I need. Yuri Tillemans is what I speak. Go up and down. Jump. What a tune that is, by the way. Who remembers that at function parties when you're 13 years old, sliding on the floor in your socks? Fucking classic. Random guy gifted a Real Reds Talk membership, as always. What a fucking legend. We need to build you a statue, Random, when we get our own studio. We'll just send us a picture of yourself and we'll just mould a statue outside, and it's like a good look, and people could just rub your head when they walk in. Yeah, appreciate it. And Alex has gifted that as well, so we'll have some content coming up for you guys, for the members shortly. Honest didn't make it up, mate. No, you spot on. You spot on, Darryl. I was only joking about. Ariz says, I have no one to pay for the B license. It cost about 10,000 USD. Well, if I check my pockets right now, I've probably got about £1 in there, so I can't help out with that. Sounds like a fetish. Quite heavy, that, for an afternoon show. C license is impressive. Only got a B license myself. We've got coaches in the chat. Love it. Absolutely love it. Here's a fun fact from Chive. I once got a speeding ticket in Flemish driving through Belgium. There we go. Big up Chive every day of the week. Real Punch Paint saying, big up Real Reds Talk. I've missed 2 matches and United scored 10 goals with 2 clean sheets. I'm thinking I should just miss the Palace match and tune into the watch along. Listen, don't worry about that punch. We'll still win. Just tune in. Ten Hag Masterclass and Genius. 15 likes, 19 people watching, says Steph. Yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys do? This is the part of your show for the next 5 minutes where you put your positives and your negatives in. Because I've discussed all mine. I've gone through. I mean, I can slide them on again. I've spoken about the stat comparison. I've spoken about missing chances. I spoke about Rashford Resurgence. Manuel Ugarte unlocks the players around him. Ten Hag Headache. And rhythm and consistency within the team. Now I need to go back through all these because I didn't even think that out. What I should have done is just put them up each individually. But there we go. You can have it. That's what we've been through. So, guys, give me yours. Time to have a discussion. Have I missed any positives, any negatives that you would put in there? Put them in the chat and we'll have a conversation for sure. Cheers, everyone in the chat. Good morning from Boston all the way to Everton. Punch Paint. Can you do one thing for me, brother? Ollie to Everton would be mad as well, wouldn't it? I actually think he'd do all right there, to be fair. But I also like Sean Dyche, I have to say. I think he's a good coach, despite what everyone's saying at the minute. Dyche, Dwight McNeil on the wing. Get the ball in for Tarkowski in the box. Listen, don't worry about it. We'll go back to... Take your gloves off. What are you doing? Cheers, yeah, what was I going to say? Punch Paint. Boston. Tell me a fun fact about Boston. Because when I think about Boston, I think about Dana White. I think about Ted. And the reason why I think about Ted is because of, what's his name? Mark Wahlberg. It's fucking Mark. It's a fucking teddy bear. Do you speak like that, Punch Paint? That's what I want to know. It's a fucking teddy bear. No shit. Negative, Amas should have played at left back and poor Collier. Why did Amas not get a chance? Yeah, that is... Yeah, I think we can definitely discuss that. I think there was an interview that Ten Hag did in pre-season where he was talking about Amas in terms of minutes, and he's like, he's not fully developed yet. I think think he's got a thing where maybe he doesn't think he's ready defensively. I think going forward, Amas is really, really good, but there was a couple of times in pre-season where he got caught out, whether it was 1v1 or there was some kind of spacing issues with it. I think that's why. I don't think Ten Hag thinks he's ready, whereas Collier is more opposed to say, yeah, he's ready for first-team football. And don't forget, Amas is like 17. He's a couple of years behind Collier in terms of development. So I think he's talented, but I understand a little bit, because I saw it myself in pre-season as well. So I get it. I don't think people are very eager sometimes, especially because there isn't a left back there at the minute. I mean, if Malacia was fit, I don't think anyone would be calling for Amas to start all day. It's just because there's an availability there, and it's like, let's give this kid a go. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think he's personally ready yet but against Barnsley, you probably would have got away with it. You probably would have got away with it. To be fair, surely you think of Ireland when you think of Boston. More Irish in Boston than there is in Ireland. Can I be honest, Brian? I always know there's been an affinity there, but I actually don't know the history. Is it because Boston is like docks or something from Ireland to Boston? Genuinely, I don't know the history. I know there's like gangster history there, and there's a whole kind of thing. Teach me is what I'm saying, because when it comes to like history, my knowledge is shocking. When it comes to football, my knowledge is great, but when it comes to history, it's terrible, honestly. Miss Stephanie, my neighbour. Okay. Metropolis, DJ Muggs, Method Man, and Slick Rick. Punch Paint. Oh, is that, are they all from Boston? Method Man from Boston? Is it? It's just, just go to instantly think of Mark Wahlberg. It's a fucking teddy bear. What you doing here, Tammy? It's a fucking teddy bear. Is that a good accent or bad accent? Or insulting. You could just say I'm being insulting and I'll stop. I don't want to insult anyone. Honestly, Starbucks. For a 12 o'clock show, hits you absolutely in the nuts. All right, let's see if we've got any other bits of news that's floating about with United at the minute. Just in. Oh, there certainly is some news. Are you ready for this, guys? This is the pleasure of doing live shows. Let me read this out for you. Sorry, there has been some news come in. I'll read that out in a minute. I just want to I finished my conclusion, basically. So on the show in general, just on the pros and cons, then we'll talk about the news. Confidence is everything in football. It goes for individual players and it goes for a team. I keep saying it's only Barnsley because we need to be careful when we're going into these other ones. We can't get too ahead of ourselves and start peacocking and think, oh, we're fucking amazing, and then you get beat by Palace and you're back to square one again. So progression, build brick by brick and get some revenge for Selhurst Park, because the away fans, and more than anyone on this planet, deserve it more to see a victory at Selhurst Park for that shocker you shown last season. So buzzing we won and scored so many goals. Very rare when you have a stress-free game with United, has to be said. So yeah, really happy, but plenty of tougher tests to come, so bear that in mind. But we do have some breaking news coming in, and it's nice to have after such a performance like that. Just in from Fabrizio Romano, Manchester United are preparing to advance in negotiations over a new contract for Kobe Mainoo. Now, Mainoo's had a bit of a mixed start to the season. He's looked a little bit tired. Obviously had a meteoric rise within the last 8 months from playing with under-19s Copenhagen to becoming a regular player in the Euros for England. So, yeah, look, He's fizzled slightly. He's still been good in games. Some people say it's systematic. I agree with it to a certain extent. Other people will say he just needs a little bit of a rest, and he got that, didn't he? Didn't feature at all against Barnsley. So expected a big season for Kobe. Generational talent, in my opinion. If he stays at United for the next, 5 to 10 years, we've got some player on our hands here. Because if he's performing like this now at the age of 19, my God, what is he going to be like when he's 25? The Stockport Seedorf, they call him, and he's a revelation. He takes it under pressure really well, dribbles really well. He scored some worldies against Wolves and Liverpool last season, and he's become an important player at such a young age. Likewise with Garnacho. So that can only be positive news in my book, and I'm sure you guys will agree. So yeah, great news, fantastic. When the Irish immigrated during the famine, most landed in New York and Massachusetts as they're on the East Coast. Interesting. Punch Paint said Maguire and Evans looked shaky on one corner kick, but that's the only one I can remember from the highlights. Mainoo and Ahmad getting new deals, well deserved for both. I have to go, guys, so I'll talk to you later. See you in a bit, Richard. Take it easy, mate. There's some other football news as well. Rest in peace, Salvatore. I can't say his name, but I saw it on Sky Sports before. The Italian footballer. I think that was before my kind of prime. So, yeah, Rashford should take more free kicks. We're scoring from set pieces again. It's early doors, but I'm feeling dangerous home. So quite a collection of comments there. But yeah, in reaction to Kobbie Mainoo, yeah, great news. And if we get Ahmad down there as well, that's like, yeah, two ones I would definitely be focused on at the minute. You give him a new 5-year deal. Don't obviously overdo it with, give him £900,000 a week, but give him a decent bump up. I think Mainoo certainly earned it. I mean, Ahmad's on. We had a look at Ahmad's wage the other day. He's on about, what was it, 30k a week or something. So he's expected to get a bump up. But they are two players. Ahmad 21, I think. Mainoo 19. The future of this club, if they continue to develop the way we think they're going to. So absolutely buzzing with that news. And hopefully we get, in the next couple of weeks, we get that signed, sealed and delivered and Kobbie Mainoo stays for the next 5 years. And that'd be amazing. Here's to the future is what I say. Here is to the future, absolutely. Right, let me just type that in. Just so I don't forget. Hopefully Rashford's allowed. Sorry with that. Fun fact, Nick is also a legend in USA. Hopefully one day, people will know my name in America. It's nice to have a couple from America who watch the show, I'm going to be honest. I get more and more amazed. People are like, oh, I'm watching from Norway, I'm watching from Mozambique, I'm watching from India, I'm watching from USA. And I'm like, that is fucking crazy. And the more of that, the better. The more diverse, the better for me. Of course. I mean, even the lads on the channel, we've got obviously Chivi, who's from Nigeria. You've got Shreyas and Dan from India, Adam from Ireland, and that's absolutely how it should be. Diverse, everyone coming together, and that's what we want this channel to be forever and always. For as long as I'm alive, at least anyway, and for as long as Sam's alive, that's how it will always be. Everyone has the right to an opinion. Unless you're an absolute dickhead, in which case, then, yeah. Nicky's name is pronounced Schillaci. Oh, Schillaci, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was before my time when he was playing. I know he was quite prominent for Italy, wasn't he? In the 90s, for Juventus and Inter Milan. But, yeah, I can't sit here and say, oh, what a player. Unbelievable talent. You know, he was a midfield. I had no idea. I have no idea where he plays. So, yeah, obviously, of course, rest in peace. That's what I'm saying. Random. I didn't even know that. I'm sure I think you might have said it before, actually. Watching from Saudi Arabia. That is crazy. I would have thought, oh, he's just in Bury watching. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is mad. We've got Brian, who I know is in Ireland. Punch Paint, who's in Boston. Random guys watching from Saudi Arabia. Elite Baller. I can't remember where he said he was from. But yeah, you guys from like all over the world. That's the crazy thing, isn't it? Absolutely mad. So, yeah. Look, I love that, though. I absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm okay with keeping Casemiro. But, anyway, unless you guys had any questions you want to throw in before I head off. I'm in Sale, exotic locations, speaking of. Everyone's in different places. That's a good thing. But we all come together, innit, every day for these shows, so. There's me putting my radio head on there. Got to go to work on the weed farm. It's harvest season. Cheers, everyone. Love this community. Love this channel. I love you, Punch Paint. I love all you guys in the chat. Smash a like on the video for us. Subscribe. And we'll be back tonight at 7 o'clock with some interactive stuff, I promise. So, yeah, we're going to mix it up a little bit. It won't be a typical news show. We're going to do a bit of a hybrid. So, come and join us. Enjoy the rest of your day. And, yeah,